If you do client work, chances are you provide some kind of report to your clients. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3-part ClickUp reporting system that will allow you to work more efficiently, reclaim some of your valuable time, and actually provide a better experience to your clients. Now, this is the 4th and final part of the complete client work system that I've shared in 4 videos. If you haven't seen those other videos yet, I urge you to go back and watch that because together they can save you upwards of 20 hours a month in client work. And with that, let's get into it. So this 3-part ClickUp reporting system starts with the reporting database. Now we're going to use a recurring task set to recur at whatever frequency you provide this report to your clients. Now this task can live inside of an account management list, or if you do a lot of reporting for your clients and you want to manage that tracked time or report on that tracked time separately, then I would recommend using a separate reporting or analytics list so that in your time tracking reports, you can section out the amount of time you're spending on that type of work. Now, to learn more about why you would use separate lists and its relationship to time tracking, I would urge you to go back and watch the video called "No One Properly Explains This Part of ClickUp," because it's true, nobody does. It's so important to understand how the hierarchy and lists and all of that information combines with time tracking to provide you with a crystal clear picture of your business operations and how each of your client accounts are working. Either way, wherever you're tracking your recurring reporting task, inside of the task, you're going to have a link to your reporting database. Now, the database is meant to act as a hub for all of the reports that you provide to your clients, and you can format it to look however you want. This is essentially in place of using, say, a Google Drive folder. And if you remember, I encourage you to keep everything inside of ClickUp because it saves you so much time from switching between tools and it makes you work more effectively. The other piece is that I love to use this page as a central place to send clients when a new report is ready for them. That way, I don't have to send them the actual link to the report. All I have to do is let them know there is a new report and drive them to the same link that they always go to, and they'll see the newest report listed in the database. I like to customize it so that it has like a branded header, and I use different headings to separate out the reports based on however I work with the client. So for example, I might separate it out by quarters and months, so it's really easy for them to find the information that they're looking for. Now, to create a database, all you have to do is create a subpage from a doc. By doing this, the parent page automatically becomes a database in its own right, and it has these pre-configured links that you can click on show up at the top, but I like to manually input each of the new reports so that the client experience is better and everything is super organized exactly how I want it to be. And you can do this by simply adding headers, but also using the @ symbol 3 times to populate all of your most recent docs, and then you can simply click it and add it and it will put a little button there. Super easy. Keep in mind, this is a manual process to keep these databases up to date, so you would want to add it as a task or a to-do item in your reporting task so that you don't forget to update this database. Now, using a database like this makes it super easy for the client to come and check out any reports they want at any time. And it allows you for your message to them to be more generic, to just say, hey, a new report is ready in your reporting database. And you could even set an automation to send this out on your behalf. So you don't even have to message the client yourself. You could have an email go out automatically. And that would allow you to have a templated email that goes out when reports are ready. Having a nice branded database like this contributes positively to your client's experience, and so it's a win-win for everybody. You are more organized and the client is happy because they have a central place to come and find all of the information that they need when they need it. If you're thinking, Robin really gets what it's like to be a freelancer, I'm really digging her systems, then I would recommend that you join my newsletter. I literally cannot whip up videos fast enough to keep up with all of the incredible suggestions that I have for using ClickUp for freelancing. So if you're interested in learning a lot more than what I'm offering here in YouTube, then subscribe and I will see you in the inbox. Okay, now that we have our reporting database set up, we can move into part 2, which is the reporting template. So within the reporting database, you can also have a reporting template. Now, think about a Google Doc where you create a template. It's the same concept. As a freelancer, when you come in to do your report, you can either duplicate the template and start from net new, or if it's more helpful for you to use the data, or you use the data from the previous month's report in your new report, you could duplicate the previous month's report as well. So it's really easy to just jump in and get started. Now, the reporting template itself can have headers, subheaders, a table of contents, and within the doc itself, you also have the option to use AI, which is one of ClickUp's newer features. You could use it as a way to take your bullet points that you've inputted and turn it into written insights and just speed up your efforts. Now, using this template streamlines your efforts in two ways. One, you aren't leaving ClickUp to go duplicate a Google Doc and reorganize it all into a file structure that makes sense for this report. And two, your reports are consistent with the same information across all of them. So now when the recurring task shows up in your to-do list, all you have to do is click a couple times and you're off to the races. It makes it so much easier, so much faster, and so much more efficient. Now, I want to remind you that while this may seem like very small time savings to be had, these are all part of a bigger system where ultimately together they'll save you more time. And using ClickUp as a whole and focusing your time and energy into one specific tool versus bouncing around, all of that is really going to equate to more time savings. So I want you to think big picture and not get lost in the minutes or seconds that you may or may not be saving versus your current process. Okay, now that we have our database, we have our reporting template, we want to get into our reporting sources. Because at the end of the day, we actually have to still do the reporting, right? We've got our system set up so it's super easy for us to find reports, share them with the clients, and get started on creating reports. And we've saved a little bit of time with all of that. Now we're going to talk about how ClickUp can save us time with data gathering. And there are 3 ways that you can use ClickUp to help you with this. Now, the first is if you use a Google Sheet. Google Sheets are amazing for data analysis because they have formulas, and I would highly recommend, instead of trying to make something into ClickUp for this type of stuff, Sheets is just a better option. So if you use a sheet for your report, instead of having to navigate to it or even clicking through a link, we can actually embed it right into the view. So coming back to, if you're choosing to have a reporting analytics list, you could have your view configured with that Google Sheet. You could also just have it in your account management list as well, but either way, it's within the client folder in the view where you're going to be using it. The best part about this too is that it's actually like a live document, so you can make changes and navigate within the sheet the way you would inside of the actual Google Sheets app. So again, you don't have to leave ClickUp. Now, if you use GA4 or Looker Studio, this is another option for you to embed right inside of a ClickUp view. Now, you may be wondering, if everything is inside of ClickUp, how are you going to work on the report? You've got your ClickUp doc, you've got your data sets, and your sheets, it's all in one place. Well, to be transparent with you, I always have at least 2 ClickUp windows open at one time. It does really become your central hub for everything in your business. So just like you would have multiple browser windows open, I end up using multiple ClickUp windows. Now, the last option for how ClickUp can help you with data sources can be really helpful if you have somebody working with you or if you're really diligent with yourself. And that's using a chat view to document any updates throughout the month. So I've done this in the past before. If I make changes in an account, say for example, with a paid ads campaign, if I'm changing budgets, if I'm making changes to creatives, I'll just make a little note for myself in the chat window so that when it comes time to start doing the report from the previous month, I don't have to try and remember everything that I did. So by embedding our data sources that we need for our reporting directly inside of ClickUp, we save ourselves so much time from trying to hunt through and find what we need, and we can simply just get down to the task at hand, wasting not even a second of time. So to recap, together, the reporting database, the reporting template, and our reporting data sources may not save you a surplus of time on their own, but it's these small improvements to process and the act of creating your own ecosystem inside of one tool that equates to a bigger shift towards freedom and ultimately more profitable clients. I hope the 4 ClickUp must-haves for organizing client work have helped you see how much time you can save by systemizing everything inside of ClickUp. Subscribe if you like this video, and if you want to keep learning more about ClickUp. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.